Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Good to see y'all. We got something super special today. I have an OG Tone King Sky King amp, which is a 35 watt friggin' beast. This thing pushes some air. Now, this is on loan. I did not buy this amp. This is on loan actually from Mark Bartel, who is the original creator of Tone King, and I think this is his personal amp. And I've gotten to know Mark over the years because he's in the Baltimore area, and I asked him if I could borrow it, and he said, sure, man. So, thank you again to Mark for letting me borrow this. He is not connected to this brand anymore. If you know about Bartel amps, that's Mark's new venture. Those things, I think I did all three of his amps. I did reviews for all three of his amps on this channel. So if you want to see where he's come from this, which is, I played some of those when I was at his shop again, and it reminded me how amazing those amps are. So definitely check out Bartel, killer stuff. But I have always been enamored with this amp for years. I mean, I think probably early 2000, I don't know, 2011 or so, I was really interested in getting one of these amps because it's right up my alley. It's kind of that Fender-y kind of black panel vibe, but I feel like it's got so much more to offer. Obviously, like a deluxe reverb is an amp that everybody talks about. As far as backline amps, you can't go wrong with the Fender deluxe reverb. This is kind of in that vein, but that's only a 22 watt amp. This is 35 watts. You would never, ever have a problem playing on a huge stadium tour with this thing. If you want to crank it up and get it doing what it's doing, pushing all that air, this thing is just, it's absolutely amazing. And it sounds great with both humbuckers and with single coils. So we're gonna do both, I promise. And let's just dive right in. So on the front panel, what we're gonna see here is we've got the lead channel, and then we've got the rhythm channel, and then we have reverb and tremolo, okay? So the lead channel is accessible through here. There was also a foot switch, which I do not have, so I'm gonna have to manually do this. But basically master volume, master tone, mid bite, which adds a little bit more gain, a little bit more and the rhythm channel, volume, treble, bass, very simple, very usable. Reverb sounds amazing. I know it seems like I have it pretty high. I actually like that because this amp doesn't get super lush too quickly, which I feel like some Fender amps do. This is very gradual tapered, and I like it a lot. Tremolo is a basic, bias tremolo, rate and depth. Sky King, I love this. This is how you can tell it's an OG. Tone King Amplifiers, Baltimore, Maryland, USA. Hell yeah. All right, cool. So let's start out. I'm going to play the Josh Williams first. Play some funky stuff. Let you hear this. We'll get some grit and some grime behind it. Alright, that was the funky in between. Here's the rhythm, or the neck pickup. awesome. It's got such a great, clean, crisp attack, but it is not ear piercing. It's got the most beautifully musical sound. All right, let's go to the bridge pickup. It is so loud in this room and so glorious. I have earplugs in, don't you worry, y'all. Don't you worry. All right, so let's show you the reverb and then the trem. I'm gonna go back to the neck pickup. Here it is, completely dry. Pretty dope. All right, let's go to about 9 o'clock. At about noon. Back to where it was in the beginning. Full surf mode. Anywho, should have done that on the Strat. I know. It doesn't get too washy, which I like. If you've played any of those new Tone Master Fender amps, my biggest complaint with those, because I think they sound pretty great, but my biggest complaint with those is that the reverb, even on like 2, is like just completely washed out. It's way too drippy, way too quick. This thing is not, even at its most reverbery, it's musical, and it's playable, and it's usable. So I think this amp kind of wins that race for sure. Let's do the tremolo. Here is, I'm going to put things at noon. Amazing tremolo on this thing too. All right, I'm gonna turn that all the way off. Let's head over to the lead channel real quick. We're gonna be on the bridge pickup. Awesome. All right, let me head over. I'm going to move the mid bite up. I'm going to actually first I'm going to drop it way back and then gradually bring it up so you can kind of hear how much grit that adds to it. Come on, man. That is so good. It gets into that kind of tweed, I would say, sound when you get to the lead channel and you really get that mid bite cooking. I like the mid bite probably somewhere between 6 and 7, which really gives you that punchy kind of tweed attack. All right, let me switch to the Strat. All right, we got the Strat. Let's pop into the neck pickup. There's the neck, here's the bridge. It's got so much spank with the Strat. I had to turn up the volume just a smidge. All right, cool. So let's go over to the lead channel now. I don't think I need to play anymore. I think this is perfectly clear. This amp kicks ass. It's friggin' awesome. I'm so happy. I'm taking it to my gig this weekend, and I cannot wait to like feel it on stage, because when it's different when you're playing in your house and then when you get on a bandstand and you're trying to cut through a mix as a guitarist. I mean, this is by far. I mean, you guys know I love my 2-Rock, but I would put this amp up with the Bloomfield in terms of like how much I like it. People ask me that all the time, but how does it compare to your Bloomfield when I do amp stuff? And this one I can confidently say I would love to have this amp, and I would love to have the choice between these two, and I think either one is one of the best amplifiers I've ever played in my entire life, period. And I would say that filters over into Bartel's new stuff. When I played through the Roseland, when I was at his shop last weekend, it had been a minute since I'd played through it, and I was like, holy crap, this thing is just, it sounds so good. And it loves, his amps tend to really love this Josh Williams, because when I plugged into this, I brought my Josh Williams with me, and it was just like instantaneous tone. And then the same thing, as soon as I went into that Roseland and he like messed with some settings, he's like, let me just dial this in real quick. It was like that Clapton Beano thing, man. It was just killing. It's just so good. So if you can find an old one of these that like Mark built, that says made in Baltimore, Maryland, snag it real quick. I don't know anything about the new people who own Tone King. I don't know anything about what's going on with the reproduction of these amplifiers. I'm sure they're great. I'm sure the Imperial's still great. I'm sure that the Sky King is still great. But knowing that Mark's hands were, had to do every little bit of soldering in this thing, and just how great it sounds, it's no surprise. I mean, he's a genius. So anyway, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and I will see you next time.